Norway, a land of soaring fjords, majestic peaks, and villages that look like they belong in a fairy tale. From the famous Trolltunga to the hidden corners of the Lofoten Islands, every place feels like a masterpiece carved by nature itself. In this video, we'll explore the 60 most beautiful and most visited destinations in Norway, places that will leave you breathless and inspire your next adventure. Geiranger Fjord. It is a vast, serpentine waterway flanked by near vertical mountain walls that soar up to 1,000 meters from the placid, emerald waters. The air here is crisp, filled with the distant sound of cascading water and the echoes of ancient sagas. It is a landscape that commands silence and reverence, a true cathedral of nature. Seen from above, the fjord reveals its true scale. A ribbon of deep blue water winding its way inland for 15 kilometers, a scar left by a colossal glacier that retreated 10,000 years ago. From the cliffs, numerous waterfalls tumble into the abyss below. The most famous of these are the Seven Sisters, a congregation of 7 separate streams that plunge in unison towards the fjord. They fall from a height of 250 meters, a drop significantly taller than the Eiffel Tower in Paris. The fine mist they create catches the sunlight, often forming fleeting rainbows against the dark rock face. Life here clings to the most improbable of places. High on the fjord's sheer sides, one can still see the outlines of abandoned farms. Norway Fjord, a name that hints at its defining feature, for it is derived from the Norse god Njordr, the deity of the sea and seafaring. It is a fitting title for a fjord that presents both a challenge and a wonder to navigate. At 18 kilometers long, it is an impressive branch of the much larger Sognefjord. What truly sets Norway Fjord apart is its astonishing narrowness. In some places, the passage constricts to a mere 250 meters. Here, the colossal mountains feel as if they are closing in, their sheer cliffs rising over 1800 meters on either side. To sail through this channel is to feel utterly dwarfed by the scale of the geology. The light struggles to reach the water's surface, casting long dramatic shadows. This dramatic and intimate landscape features towering peaks, frozen waterfalls. It is this very fjord that served as a key inspiration for the kingdom of Arendelle in Disney's Frozen. As we move through the fjord, the silence is broken only by the cry of a seabird, the gentle rumble of a distant waterfall. Small, traditional villages dot the shoreline, their colorful wooden houses providing a stark contrast to the grey and green of the mountains. Trolltunga, the Troll's Tongue. It is a sliver of rock, a geological marvel that juts horizontally out from the mountainside, suspended in the open air. Getting here is no simple task. It requires immense effort and determination, a pilgrimage for the modern adventurer. The reward, however, is a view and a photograph that are truly once in a lifetime. The rock itself hangs 700 meters above the serene, glacial waters of Lake Ringedalsvatnet. The lake below, appears as a splash of sapphire in the vast, rugged landscape of the Hardangervidda Plateau. Standing on the edge of the tongue, one is completely exposed to the elements, with nothing but air between you and the valley floor. The sense of scale is almost impossible to comprehend. The journey to reach this extraordinary viewpoint is an epic in itself. The hike is a formidable 27-kilometer round trip, a trek that can take between 10 and 12 hours to complete. It is widely considered one of Norway's most challenging day hikes, demanding physical fitness and mental fortitude. The path winds through high mountain terrain, past streams, boulder fields, and steep ascents. This place was not always a global sensation. For centuries, it was a hidden gem, known only to a few hardy locals. In recent years, its fame has exploded, drawing adventurers from every corner of the globe. Stollen, or the Pulpit Rock. It's a colossal block of stone, a near-perfect square plateau measuring approximately 25 by 25 meters. It stands as if carved by a giant hand, its flat top offering an uninterrupted panoramic view of the magnificent fjord below. The rock terminates in a sheer cliff, a vertical drop of 604 meters straight down to the water. There are no barriers here, no fences to obscure the view or diminish the raw experience of standing on the edge of the abyss. A crack at the back of the plateau serves as a stark reminder that this monolith is not eternal. One day, it too will succumb to the forces of erosion and gravity and plunge into the fjord. But for now, it remains a steadfast and breathtaking viewing platform. Such a dramatic location has, naturally, caught the eye of filmmakers. Stollen played a starring role in a climactic scene of the blockbuster film Mission Impossible Fallout. The sequence showcased the rock's perilous beauty to a global audience, cementing its status as one of the world's most iconic natural landmarks. Its accessibility, compared to other mountain hikes in Norway, has made it incredibly popular. Each year, over 300,000 hikers make the 4-kilometer trek to its summit. The path, though steep in places, is well trodden, which is a testament to the rock's magnetic pull. Bolten, a large boulder suspended in a mountain crevice. It's a simple, almost absurd sight, a single, rounded stone wedged between two vertical cliff faces with nothing but 1,000 meters of empty space below it. A 5 cubic meter rock left behind as the ice retreated at the end of the last ice age. It's held in place by friction, locked into the crevice of the Kjarag mountain. It sits 984 meters above the fjord, a height that is honestly difficult for the mind to fully grasp. To reach it requires a challenging hike, but the true test of nerve comes at the very end, the decision of whether to step out onto the boulder itself. For many, this is the ultimate photo opportunity. A picture of oneself standing triumphantly on the suspended stone is a coveted prize, a badge of honor among travelers and adventurers. It's a moment that requires a steady heart and a complete trust in the physics that have held this rock in place for millennia. The resulting image is one of pure, unadulterated, defiance of gravity. Cheragbolten is more than just a photo spot. It's a focal point for the base jumping community. The sheer cliffs of Kerak Mountain provide one of the world's premier locations for this extreme sport. From here, individuals leap into the void, experiencing a few seconds of free fall before deploying their parachutes for a gentle descent to the fjord's shore. The Lofoten Islands. A chain of islands rises dramatically from the sea, jagged granite peaks like the teeth of an ancient sea dragon. A landscape of stark contrasts, soaring mountains, sheltered bays, white sandy beaches, traditional fishing villages painted deep red, raw, elemental beauty. The islands are surrounded by waters unusually rich in life. Just off the coast, the Roost Reef, the world's largest deep-water coral reef, a thriving ecosystem in the cold, dark Norwegian Sea. Perhaps the most astonishing fact is climatological. Lofoten shows the largest positive temperature anomaly for its latitude, over 100 kilometers inside the Arctic Circle, a latitude shared with Greenland and Siberia. Yet, Lofoten enjoys a comparatively mild climate. The warming influence of the North Atlantic current keeps the seas ice-free year-round and moderates winter. Senja. It's often called Norway in miniature, and for good reason. The island's outer coast is a wild and dramatic affair, precipitous mountains plunging directly into the ocean. The inner coast is gentle and serene. Rolling hills, lush forest, fertile farmland. This diversity makes Senja a microcosm of the entire nation. A single day's journey can take you from rugged, windswept coastlines battered by the Norwegian Sea to tranquil, sheltered fjords to quiet, bucolic valleys. This variety supports a rich tapestry of flora and fauna. The island is a heaven for wildlife feel the pulse of the Arctic ecosystem. A land of dramatic transitions and surprising harmony. Among its many inhabitants, Senja is home to a particularly charming resident. It hosts the world's northernmost population of Eurasian otters. These playful, elusive creatures thrive in clean waters and complex coastline. Spotting one's sleek fur, agile movements is a special experience. They are a symbol of the island's wild heart. Sognefjord. The undisputed king of the fjord. It is a behemoth, a titan among waterways. The statistics alone are staggering. It is the longest fjord in Norway, stretching an incredible 205 kilometers inland from the Atlantic coast. To travel its length is to journey into the core of the ancient Caledonian mountain range. Its length is matched by its equally impressive depth. Sognefjord plunges to a maximum depth of 1,308 meters. Its bottom lies more than 1,200 meters below sea level, significantly deeper than the Grand Canyon, is tall. A colossal submarine valley, carved by unimaginable glacial power over millions of years. This immense body of water moderates the surrounding climate. Its sheer volume stores heat, making the shores milder than the nearby mountains. Hardanger Fjord, the second longest in Norway, but perhaps the most bountiful. In the spring, its shores are transformed into a sea of white blossoms and pink blossoms. This region is the fruit orchard of Norway, a place where the microclimate created by the fjord allows for the cultivation of apples, pears, plums, and cherries on a grand scale. The sight of these blossoming orchards, set against the backdrop of snow-capped mountains and the deep blue fjord, is one of Norway's most idyllic and celebrated scenes. It is a perfect fusion of nature's grandeur and humanity's patient cultivation. But Hardanger is also a land of powerful water. It is here we find one of Norway's most famous waterfalls, Vøringsfossen. This mighty cascade has a total fall of 182 meters, with a major plunge of 163 meters. The sheer volume of water that thunders down into the Mobodalen Canyon is a spectacle of raw power, a stark contrast to the gentle beauty of the orchards. A series of innovative bridges and viewing platforms allows visitors to experience the waterfall's force from breathtaking vantage points. This region is also home to a marvel of modern engineering. Spanning the fjord is the Hardanger Bridge, one of the world's longest suspension bridges. Its main span stretches for over 1300 meters, a graceful and slender structure connecting the communities on either side. Lies a fjord, a place of dramatic cliffs and ethereal light. Its name translates to light fjord, derived from the lightly colored granite of its sheer rock walls. Pale cliffs rise up to 1,000 meters from the water, catching and reflecting sunlight, bathing the 42-kilometer long fjord in a luminous glow. Home of Breathtaking, home of Gerard Bolton. Sail its length to see them from below, tiny figures on the pulpit rock, the impossibly small boulder wedged high above. From the water, you feel the sheer verticality and monumental scale. The fjord is almost entirely uninhabited. Steep, inhospitable sides keep settlements at bay. This lack of development preserves a wild, primordial character. Except for Lysebotn and Florley, there is little sign of human presence. At Florley, the longest wooden staircase in the world, 4,444 steps run alongside an old pipeline, climbing steeply up the mountainside. The Orleans Fjord. This colossal trench, a 29-kilometer arm of the Sognefjord, holds the title of longest and deepest fjord in Norway. At its deepest point, the Sognefjord plunges over 1,300 meters, deeper than Britain's tallest mountain. The water below is a perfect mirror, reflecting the snow-dusted peaks with such clarity that reality and reflection blur. From the Stigasten viewpoint, a platform that juts out 650 meters above the fjord, Flomline, Flomspana. In just 20 kilometers, it climbs from sea level to Myrdal Station, 867 meters up. It's one of the world's steepest standard gauge line. Average gradient 1 in 18, 5.5%. Construction began in 1923, taking 20 years to complete. Most work was done by hand, tunneling through dense gneiss. The railway includes 20 separate tunnels. The Noli Tunnel is a spectacular horseshoe curve inside the mountain. One breathtaking stop is Kjosfossen waterfall, a colossal 225-meter cascade. Norway's second largest city, Bergen Meridian, cradled by 7 mountains and gateway to the fjords. Here stands Bryggen, a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1979. For 400 years, German merchants traded stockfish from northern Norway and grain from the continent in this self-contained community. Bryggen has endured hardships, devastated by fire in 1702. After each blaze, it was rebuilt following original methods. In Oslo, the nation's capital, lies Vigeland Park, the world's largest sculpture park by a single artist, Gustav Vigeland. The park's centerpiece is the monolith over 14 meters high, depicting 121 human figures, taking 3 master carvers 14 years to complete. The Oslo Opera House appears to rise from the Oslo fjord like a glacier, its white marble and granite exterior inviting visitors to walk upon its roof. This innovative design has won numerous international awards, with one of the world's most technologically advanced stages below. The Viking Ship Museum houses the world's best preserved Viking ships. The Oseberg ship, dating from 820 AD, offers an unparalleled window into Viking artistry. Tromsø, the capital of the Arctic. Located almost 400 kilometers north of the Arctic Circle. At 69 degrees north, this unique position places it directly in the center of the auroral oval, making it one of Earth's best places to witness the northern lights. The aurora borealis is caused by solar particles colliding with our atmosphere. In summer, Tromsø experiences the opposite. The midnight Sunday, the sun doesn't set for over 2 months, creating a unique, energetic atmosphere. It's home to the world's northernmost university, botanical garden, and brewery. The North Cape, soaring 307 meters above the Arctic Ocean, celebrated as mainland Europe's northernmost point accessible by car. Standing here at 71 degrees north, you feel at the very edge of the known world. The only land between you and the North Pole, 2,100 kilometers away, is Svalbard. They come for the midnight sun in summer, or to brave fierce Arctic storms in winter. a place of immense scale and quiet introspection. Beneath the plateau sits North Cape Hall, tunneled into the cliff. Olesen, spread across several islands where fjords meet the Atlantic, is internationally renowned for its unique concentration of Art Nouveau architecture. In January 1904, terrible fire destroyed over 850 houses, leaving 10,000 people homeless in winter. In just 3 years, a new city rose from ashes. What makes Ålesund globally unique is the fusion of Art Nouveau style with traditional Norwegian motifs. Viking art, Norse mythology, local flora and fauna, creating a distinct national romantic version found nowhere else on Earth. Stavanger, Norway's oil capital, the heart holds a different treasure. Gamle Stavanger, Europe's best preserved wooden house settlement. 173 white wooden houses built in the late 18th and early 19th centuries. Walking these cobbled, lamplit lanes feels like stepping onto a perfectly preserved film set. But this is a living, breathing residential neighborhood, often adorned with blooming flowers in summer. Stavanger serves as gateway to the Lisse Fjord, home to world-famous Preikestollen or Pulpit Rock. Before oil discovery in 1969, Stavanger was Norway's canning capital. Trondheim, Norway's first capital, stands Nidaros Cathedral, the northernmost medieval cathedral in the world. Construction began in 1070 over King Olaf II's burial site, later canonized as Saint Olaf, Norway's patron saint. For centuries, Nidaros was the coronation site for Norwegian monarchs. A tradition is still constitutionally required. Paths run hundreds of kilometers, making it a Scandinavian counterpart to the Camino de Santiago. Craftsmen still repair the delicate stonework. The building stone is greenish soapstone that changes tone with light and weather. Kristiansand, the summer capital enjoying more sunny days than almost any other Norwegian city. Founded by King Christian IV in 1641, its center quadraturin retains its Renaissance grid layout (IFT), one of Northern Europe's best preserved examples. Dyreparken, combined zoo and amusement park, is one of Norway's most visited attractions. Home to Cardamom Town, Cardamom recreates Thorbjørn Egnar's fictional town, a cherished childhood pilgrimage blending literature, theatre, and family entertainment. Kristiansand hosts Palmeses, claiming to be Scandinavia's biggest beach party, attracting tens of thousands each summer. Røros, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the oldest preserved wooden towns in Europe. Walking this street is like stepping into a bygone era, where buildings weathered by centuries stand as silent witnesses to human endeavor. For over 3 centuries, from 1644 until 1977, the Røros Copper Works was the lifeblood of this region, financing wars and funding grand palaces far from here. The great slag heaps that surround the town are not scars but monuments to generations of labor that built this extraordinary place. Alta, acclaimed as the city of the northern lights, where the heavens come alive in the long dark winters. The aurora borealis dances across the star-strewn expanse, a celestial ballet that has inspired awe for centuries. Here we find one of Europe's most important rock art collections. These thousands of petroglyphs reveal a sophisticated hunter-gatherer culture with deep spiritual connection to their environment. Narvik, cradled by dramatic mountains, serves as an ice-free port for Swedish iron ore, a destiny that thrust it onto the world stage. In 1940, this peaceful harbor became a ferocious battlefield. The battles of Narvik were among the most brutal of the early war. The Ofoten Railway is a masterpiece of engineering, clinging to mountainsides and creating one of the world's most spectacular train journeys. From the train windows, the landscape unfolds in a breathtaking panorama. In winter, white and blue. In summer, a vibrant green tapestry. Voringsfossen, one of Norway's most formidable waterfalls, heard long before it's seen. The water plummets 182 meters total, with a main uninterrupted drop of 163 meters, shattering on rocks below in perpetual mist and spray. A breathtaking bridge opened in 2020 spans the canyon, letting you stand directly over the cascade and feel the vibrations through the steel. Rainbows form and dance in the mist, arcing across the canyon, a reminder of the immense forces that carve this landscape. Jostedalsbreen National Park. We find Briksdal Glacier, a frozen river tumbling down the mountainside with fractured blue-white ice. But this is also a story of change. Briksdal Glacier is in rapid retreat, a sobering encounter with climate change. Jostedalsbreen, a vast ice cap covering 487 square kilometers with ice up to 600 meters thick. This ice dome feeds over 50 glacier arms, each flowing down into valleys like slow-moving rivers, sculpting the iconic Norwegian landscape. Nigersbreen is renowned for its stunning blue ice. The deep sapphire hue results from incredible density that absorbs every color except pure blue. Under expert supervision, visitors can step onto this ancient river of ice and enter a surreal world of frozen sculptures and glowing crevasses. Svalbard, halfway between mainland Norway and the North Pole, a true frontier at the top of the world. A land of extremes governed by the sun, Oran, 4 months of midnight sun in summer, followed by polar night broken only by aurora borealis. Svalbard's undisputed monarch is the polar bear. In this wilderness, they outnumber human inhabitants, perfectly adapted apex predators of the Arctic. Buried in a frozen mountain sits the Svalbard Global Seed Vault, UV storing seed samples from worldwide gene banks, humanity's final backup against catastrophe. The Helgeland coast is where land shatters into ocean, creating a vast labyrinth of over 12,000 islands along the world's most scenic coastal drive. The Seven Sisters mountain chain are said to be troll sisters turned to stone, part of a mythological story that plays across the horizon. The UNESCO Vega archipelago preserves a living culture. For 1,500 years, islanders have maintained symbiotic relationships with wild eider ducks. To travel the Helgeland coast is to slow down and attune to the rhythm of tides and ferries. Every turn reveals new vistas and fishing villages. Saltstraumen, a narrow strait holding the world record for the strongest tidal current on Earth. Four times daily, 400 million cubic meters of seawater squeeze through this wide channel at 40 kilometers per hour, creating 10-meter whirlpools. This violent churning creates a uniquely rich ecosystem. The current acts like a giant blender, bringing nutrients up and making Saltstraumen legendary for fishing. If you're enjoying this journey through Norway's wonders, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and join us for more breathtaking travel videos. Your support helps us keep exploring the world and sharing these incredible destinations with you. The Romsdalsegen Reach. This is not merely a trail, it is an ascent into the very heart of the Norwegian mountains, a place where the world falls away at your feet. Located in the Romsdalen Valley, the Alps of Norway, this hike offers a perspective that is truly humbling. Walk the narrow spine of rock, and the panorama that unfolds is almost overwhelming. From the highest point, you can see the winding Rama River, the jagged peaks of Trollveggen, the Troll Wall, Europe's tallest vertical rock face, and the distant, shimmering fjords. The trail stretches about 10 kilometers, but the vertical challenge defines it. Over 970 meters of elevation gain. The Atlanterhavsveien, the Atlantic Ocean Road. Not just a method of transport, but a destination in its own right. A ribbon of asphalt that leaps between islands and skerries. Stretching just over 8.3 kilometers, County Road 64 is made of causeways, viaducts, and 8 distinct bridges, the most famous, Storseisundet Bridge. Its construction was a battle with the elements. Built 1983, 1989, workers endured 12 hurricanes. Named Norwegian Construction of the Century. Frequently voted one of the world's most beautiful drives. Fishing platforms let visitors cast into rich waters. You can spot seals and even whales on calm days. Southern Norway, Gaustatoppen. From a distance, its conical shape is unmistakable. A lone monarch rising 1,883 meters above sea level. While it may not be Norway's highest peak, it offers something arguably more impressive. The single greatest, most expansive panoramic view in all of Northern Europe. This is not hyperbole, it is a verifiable fact. On a clear day, one can see an area of approximately 60,000 square kilometers, which is roughly 1/6 of Norway's entire mainland. What makes this extraordinary view accessible is a secret hidden within the mountain itself. During the Cold War, a secret funicular railway was tunneled deep inside the peak, built by NATO for military observation. Today, this remarkable engineering transports visitors on a 15-minute journey through the heart of the mountain. Rondane National Park. Established in 1962, stark, majestic beauty. A high-altitude plateau dominated by 10 peaks soaring over 2,000 meters. Not jagged and sharp like those in the west. Ancient and rounded, worn down by millennia of ice and wind. Rondane holds a special place in the Norwegian consciousness. Land that inspired great artists and poets, including Henrik Ibsen, who set Peer Gynt here. wide open spaces. Lichens paint the rocks in green and gray. Hardy alpine flowers cling in sheltered crevices. Sanctuary for one of Europe's last remaining populations of wild reindeer, Beringia origin. Roamed since the last ice age. Migration patterns etched into the land. Dovrefjell-Sunndalsfjella National Park, a place that feels even more primeval, a landscape ruled by a true Ice Age survivor. This is the home of the musk ox. These magnificent, shaggy beasts are living relics, creatures that once walked alongside woolly mammoths and saber-toothed cats. The story of the musk oxen in Dovrefjell is one of remarkable resilience and successful reintroduction. The original Norwegian population died out at the end of the last ice age. The current herd is descended from individuals brought over from Greenland in the 1930s. Today, this is the only place in Norway and one of very few in the world outside of North America and Greenland where one can witness these animals in their natural habitat. The calcareous bedrock allows for unique diversity of plant life. The park also holds Snøhetta, whose 2,286-meter summit offers breathtaking views. Jotunheimen National Park. The name itself, meaning home of the giants in Norse mythology, is a fitting description for this formidable landscape. This is the rooftop of Norway, containing the country's 29 highest mountains. Dominating this pantheon is Galdhøpiggen at 2,469 meters, the highest mountain in Norway and Northern Europe. Reaching its summit is a pilgrimage for many Norwegians. The most popular route requires a guided crossing of the Stigbring Glacier, a journey over ancient ice, its surface crisscrossed with deep blue crevasses. The geology of Jotunheimen is fascinating. The hard gabbro rock that forms peaks like Galdhøpiggen has resisted erosion better than surrounding rock, allowing them to stand tall today. When compared to the Alps, Jotunheimen's peaks may be lower in absolute altitude, but their vertical relief from the deep valleys is often just as dramatic. The Besseggen Ridge. This is more than just a path. It is a rite of passage, a narrow ridge that offers a view of two lakes. To one side lies the Jende Lake, its waters a brilliant, milky emerald green from glacial silt. On the other side, several hundred meters below, lies the Bestvatnet Lake, a body of water of the deepest, clearest blue. The classic route involves taking a ferry along the Emerald Jende Lake to Memurubu, then hiking back over the ridge. The fame of Besseggen was immortalized by Henrik Ibsen in his play Peer Gynt, where the protagonist describes a fantastical ride on a reindeer buck along the ridge. The hike is demanding, covering around 14 kilometers and requiring a good height for heights, especially on the narrowest sections of the ridge. Hardangervidda, the largest mountain plateau of its kind in Europe, spanning over 8,000 square kilometers. It is a vast, wind-swept expanse of treeless tundra. It is larger than some small countries. This vastness creates its own unique Arctic-like climate. This plateau is home to the largest wild reindeer herd in Europe, with a population that can number over 10,000 individuals. For thousands of years, these animals have undertaken epic migrations across the plateau. Evidence of this long history can be found everywhere. Dotted across the landscape are ancient hunting blinds, pitfall traps, and Stone Age settlement sites, testament to the long relationship between humans and reindeer. Hardangerbidda is also a critical watershed. It is the source for many of Norway's most important rivers, which flow east and west, eventually cascading down into the fjords in spectacular waterfalls. The Rallarvigen, arguably the most spectacular cycling route in all of Scandinavia. This is not a purpose-built recreational path, but a historic construction road built at the turn of the 20th century to facilitate the building of the legendary Bergen Line railway. The Rallarvegen traces 82 kilometers, descending from the stark high-altitude terrain of Hardangervidda down to the lush, green world of the fjords. It starts at Haugestal, climbs to Finse at 1,343 meters, then begins its breathtaking descent to Flom. Finse Place, only accessible by train, represents the highest point, where cyclists begin their journey through this living museum of engineering history. It was built by hand by thousands of workers who battled extreme weather and avalanches. Cycling this route today is to ride through history, passing old stone bridges, tunnels, and the homes of line guards. Orlandsdalen, Norway's Grand Canyon. It is a 40-kilometer long valley that carves its way from the high mountain plateaus near Finse down to the tranquil waters of the Orlandsfjord. Unlike the arid Arizona Canyon, this valley is a place of vibrant life and thundering water. It is lush and green in its lower reaches, with rivers roaring through the valley floor, fed by countless waterfalls. The old farms, like the now abandoned Sinjarheim, stand as monuments to the hardy people who once carved out a living in this formidable environment. This part of the trail winds past giant cauldrons, potholes scoured into rock by swirling water and stones over millennia. What surprises many is the valley's rich cultural history. This was once a major transport route between eastern and western Norway. The Odda Valley, carved by ancient glaciers. It is not one waterfall, but two twin torrents born from the Lotevadnet Lake high above. What makes Lodefossen truly unique is its dramatic conclusion. As the streams reach the valley floor, they converge with astonishing force. This grand union takes place directly beneath a magnificent six-arched stone bridge built in 1859, allowing countless travelers to witness this continuous, breathtaking performance. It is no surprise that this waterfall has become one of Norway's most photographed natural landmarks. The Hardangerfjord region, to a waterfall that offers an experience so rare, it feels almost magical. From a distance, it appears as a classic, beautiful cascade plunging 50 meters from a rocky precipice. But the true marvel is not what you see from the front, it's what you can experience from behind. A paved path leads behind the curtain of falling water. A chance to stand in a cavernous space carved by millennia of erosion and look out through a shimmering liquid wall. You can stand just inches from the torrent, yet the path remains remarkably dry. Svartisen, the black ice, covering over 370 square kilometers, a remnant of the last ice age. Referring to the deep blue, almost black color of its ancient compressed ice, it is a living, moving river of ice comprising two distinct glaciers separated by a deep valley. One famous arm, Engebrin, reaches down to just 20 meters above sea level, making Svartisen one of the lowest altitude glaciers in mainland Europe, a place where different climatic zones collide. Lofoten Archipelago, a chain of islands renowned for their dramatic tooth-like peaks that rise directly from the sea. The vibrant fishing village of Henningsvær, spread across several small islands and skerries, connected by bridges and causeways. For centuries, Henningsvær has been a vital hub for the world's largest cod fishery. Every winter, millions of Arctic cod, known as skrei, migrate from the Barents Sea to spawn, and the village comes alive. The evidence of this tradition is everywhere in the wooden racks, or gel, where cod is hung to dry in the wind, becoming the delicacy known as stockfish. Rhine, nestled on Moskenesoya Island, a cluster of traditional red fishermen's cabins known as rorbua huddle at the mouth of the Rhine fjord, with granite peaks soaring directly from the sea. Their jagged silhouettes reflected perfectly in the turquoise waters. The scene is so perfectly composed, so dramatic that it almost looks unreal. Rhine has been voted Norway's most beautiful village time and time again. But it's not merely a pretty picture, it's a living community. Nasfjord, one of the oldest and best preserved fishing villages in all of Norway, tucked away in a small, sheltered cove. Stepping into Nosfjord is like stepping back in time. The village has remained remarkably unchanged for over a century. The entire village is essentially an open-air museum, including the original cod liver oil factory, blacksmith's forge, and rows of iconic red rohrbuer, many dating back to the 18th and 19th centuries. This exceptional preservation and historical authenticity has led Nusfjord to be nominated as a candidate for UNESCO World Heritage status. The tiny fishing village of Hamnøy, the image that has come to define Lofoten for millions around the world. A small cluster of vivid red rohrbuer perched on stilts over the water. Set against the monumental backdrop of the Festaltinden mountain, the composition is so flawless, it seems almost too perfect to be real. These rohrbuer were once humble seasonal homes for fishermen. Vesterålen, offering a different, more rounded landscape and a unique promise. Close encounter with the largest toothed predator on Earth. This is one of the world's premier destinations for whale watching, particularly for the magnificent sperm whale. Just off Andens, the continental shelf drops dramatically, forming deep underwater canyon called Blake's Jupet, incredibly rich in nutrients, creating perfect feeding grounds for squid, the primary food source for sperm whales. This reliable food supply means male sperm whales can be found here year-round. Kirkenes, defined by its proximity to the Russian border and harsh Arctic climate. Life here is shaped by extremes, from perpetual daylight of midnight sun to the profound darkness of polar night, often illuminated by the aurora borealis. Kirkenes is home to the world-famous Snow Hotel, not just a building made of snow, but a complete hotel rebuilt from scratch every winter with intricate rooms, bar, and chapel adorned with stunning ice sculptures. The barren seawaters hold another giant, the red king crab, introduced by Russian scientists in the 60s. With leg spans reaching up to 1.8 meters, offering visitors the chance for unforgettable king crab safaris. Bodø, a vibrant modern hub, gateway to Lofoten and the wild north, the northernmost city with over 50,000 people. A major cultural and economic center above the Arctic Circle where urban life and untamed nature meet in dramatic fashion. 30 kilometers southeast lies Saltstraumen, not a river but a narrow strait where 4 times a day nearly 400 million cubic meters of seawater are forced through a 3-kilometer long, 150-meter wide channel. The world's strongest tidal current speeds reach 20 knots, creating massive whirlpools up to 10 meters across and 5 meters deep. Molde, known as the City of Roses. Here, delicate blooms thrive in a microclimate created by the Gulf Stream, defying this northern latitude of 62 degrees. After a devastating fire in 1916, the town was rebuilt with an emphasis on creating beautiful green spaces that bloom from summer through late autumn. From the Varden viewpoint, the scale is incomprehensible, a serrated line of peaks, stretching endlessly across the horizon. This unique combination of cultivated beauty and untamed wilderness defines Molde, living example of harmony between human ambition and nature's grandeur. The Heddal Stave Church, the largest of Norway's remaining stave churches. Built in the early 13th century, this cathedral of wood has survived over 800 years through sophisticated Viking shipbuilding techniques. Inside, the air smells of ancient pine tar. These vertical staves bear the entire weight of the structure, flexing with the seasons. Each timber was carefully selected and masterfully joined without a single nail, testament to medieval Norwegian woodworking genius. Legend claims it was built in 3 days by a troll, but the reality involved years of painstaking labor creating this wooden cathedral against all odds. Rising from the lush valley of Lærdal, Borgund Stave Church stands as a masterpiece of medieval Norwegian architecture. Built around 1180, it is the best preserved of all stave churches, untouched by time and remarkably original in its design. Its silhouette is instantly recognizable: steep tiered roofs, dark tarred timbers, and a forest of wooden posts, or staves, that give the church its name. The church's most striking features are the dragon head carvings perched atop its gables. Inspired by Viking longships, these fierce guardians were believed to ward off evil spirits and protect the sacred space within. Step inside. You enter a world of shadow and wood. The interior is dim, lit only by small high windows, with massive vertical staves rising like tree trunks. The scent of ancient pine tar lingers in the air, a reminder of centuries of preservation. Every beam and carving tells a story. Legends swirl around Borgund. Some say the church was built on a sacred Viking site and that the dragon set up the roof once watched over ancient rituals. Others believe the church is protected by spirits, explaining its remarkable survival through centuries of storms and war. The church stands not only as a place of worship but as a living museum, an echo of Norway's Viking past and a symbol of enduring craftsmanship. Borgund's dramatic silhouette, crowned with dragon heads, remains a powerful symbol of Norway's heritage, a testament to the artistry, faith, and imagination of its medieval builders. Urnes, a place where Viking legacy and Christian faith intertwine, stands as a silent witness to Norway's ancient past. The covered ambulatory protected walls from harsh weather and provided space where weapons were left outside in this warrior society. Inside is dark and intimate. No windows, light filters through small high openings, creating reverence and mystery in this 840-year-old structure. Perched overlooking Fjord, Urnes Stave Church is Norway's only stave church UNESCO World Heritage Site. The famous North Portal contains carvings from an 11th century predecessor, so precious they were salvaged and reused when the current church was built around 1130. These carvings represent the pinnacle of Viking art, the Urnes style, abstract, elegant, full of symbolic meaning, showing the eternal struggle between good and evil. Here, the lion symbolizing Christ's triumphs over serpents, representing paganism. Urnes is a living palimpsest of Norway's cultural transformation. For centuries, worshippers arrived by boat, making this final ascent on foot. Holmenkollen, the world's oldest ski jump, still in regular use, an icon of Norwegian identity. From the top, the view is terrifying and spectacular. Jumpers see Oslo and the fjord spread below for a fleeting moment before launching into the void. Inside is the world's oldest ski museum, charting 4 fleet 0 years of skiing history, from ancient rock carvings of hunters to today's high-tech athletes. Lillehammer, forever remembered for hosting the 1994 Winter Olympics, still considered one of the most successful and atmospheric in Olympic history. The Games left world-class facilities and a powerful sense of international friendship. Beyond Olympic glory lies Maihaugen, one of Northern Europe's largest open-air museums. Journey back in time through 200 historic buildings from across the Gudbrandsdalen Valley. This isn't a traditional museum with artifacts behind glass. Historical interpreters bring the past to life, from medieval farmsteads to bustling 19th century workshops. Telemark's quiet industrial town of Notre Dame lies a UNESCO World Heritage Site that sparked a global revolution. The birthplace of artificial fertilizer production. At Tinfo's, one power plant opened 1901. This breakthrough enabled mass production of synthetic fertilizer, dramatically boosting crop yields worldwide and averting a global food crisis. Notre Dame became a complete company town with housing, schools, and social institutions. The success led to even larger facilities like Bemork in Yukon, transforming a poor rural community into a global industrial hub connecting remote valleys to the world. The Telemark Canal snakes 105 kilometers through previously impassable landscape. When completed in 1892, European travelers hailed it as the eighth wonder of the world. 18 locks lift vessels 72 meters from sea level to Lake Flobothen. The Brangfoss system is most impressive. 5 interconnected locks, raising boats 23 meters in a single dramatic staircase. Gates still operated by hand using the same methods as over a century ago. Construction required blasting through solid rock, building massive stone walls, forging intricate iron gates. Workers used dynamite, drills, and sheer muscle power to tame the wild landscape. In Yukon stands the Bemork power plant. Built in 1911, it was once the world's largest hydroelectric facility, a symbol of Norwegian innovation and ambition. But during World War II, Bemork became the center of a global struggle, its fate intertwined with the outcome of the war. When Nazi Germany invaded Norway in 1940, they seized Bemork for its unique heavy water production, a substance essential for nuclear research. The Allies feared that if Hitler's scientists succeeded, the world would face a terrifying new weapon. The plant became a fortress, guarded day and night, its importance known to only a few. In 1943, a team of Norwegian resistance fighters trained in Britain and known as the Gunnerside Team parachuted onto the frozen Hardangerbida Plateau. For weeks, they endured blizzards, hunger, and isolation, hiding in mountain cabins, surviving on meager rations. Their mission to destroy the heavy water facility and halt the Nazi atomic program. On a frigid February night, the saboteurs descended a steep gorge, crossed an icy river, and infiltrated the heavily guarded plant. With precision and courage, they set explosives on the heavy water cells, escaping undetected into the darkness. The mission was a complete success. No shots fired, no lives lost, but the Nazi nuclear effort was dealt a devastating blow. The Bemork sabotage is remembered as one of the most daring acts of resistance in World War II. The Gunnerside team parachuted onto Hardangerbida Plateau, surviving months in brutal winter while preparing for their mission. On February 27, 1943, they descended a steep icy gorge, crossed a frozen river, climbed a sheer cliff face, and infiltrated the plant without firing a shot. When Germans tried shipping remaining heavy water, resistance fighters sank Ferry D. F. Hydro in Lake Tin. The sunken cargo never reached Germany, possibly preventing Nazi nuclear weapons development. Heurun D Fjord, a lesser known but stunning fjord near Øresund that rivals any famous Norwegian waterway. Unlike the grand scale of Geiranger Fjord, Fjord offers intimate beauty, towering peaks rising directly from pristine waters. The fjord's calm waters create perfect mirror reflections of towering peaks, offering moments of profound tranquility in this hidden corner of Norway. Fjord represents the Norway that still waits to be discovered, where dramatic beauty and authentic culture exist in perfect harmony. We've just explored 60 of the most beautiful and most visited places in Norway, from breathtaking fjords to fairy tale villages. If you enjoyed this journey, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more epic travel adventures. Your support means the world and helps us keep bringing you the most amazing destinations on Earth. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.